Hey Rach, what's this?
Oh, it's just my college essay for college application week.
Is it a rough draft?
No, I'm pretty much done with it.
Rachel, you can't be serious.
What?
Use the word later spelled with the number 8 and the @ symbol instead of using the actual word. It looks like you're texting.
Well, sometimes when I'm typing, I just forget and it comes out that way. I mean, I don't mean to do that.
So you obviously didn't spend a lot of time proofreading either. There's a lot of other typos and mistakes in here.
Well, I'm not as good at English as you are, Kayla.
But that's exactly why you should be checking behind yourself to make sure everything's right. This is really important. You don't want a ton of mistakes on your college application. It may be enough for them not to accept you.
Don't be so dramatic. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, colleges have to expect a few typos.
Hey, Mr. Lewis.
Yeah,
Can I ask you something?
sure.
I was just wondering, how important is it to have good grammar and spelling on a college application?
Well, it's very important. You know, you want to think of your application as your first impression to these admissions offices, okay? And in this case, you want your application to be as good and error-free as possible.
See?
The thing is, it's not just your test scores or your grades that the admissions counselors are looking at. You know, they want to see an application that a student's taken time to work on, and you want to make sure that you've put a lot of time and effort into it before you send it off. You know, the student information checklist that I gave you a couple weeks ago, that would actually be quite helpful in doing that.
Is that the handout that you gave us a couple weeks ago at the senior meeting?
Yep, that's right. In fact, that's a part of your student handbook for college application week. And if you take time to fill the checklist out before the event, you'll pretty much gather all the information you're going to need to fill out online. You know, this way you won't end up in the computer lab just sort of staring at the screen, not knowing what to fill in.
Yeah, and that way, Rachel, you'll be less likely to accidentally type in text abbreviations because you'll basically just be copying everything over from the checklist.
Well, that's a good idea, but what about my essay?
Now, I'd be happy to take a look at it for you, Rachel. And of course, your other counselors would too. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Okay, here it is.
Thank you. We'll just set up an appointment later this week and talk about how we can improve it, okay? Kayla, did any of your college applications require an essay?
One of them does.
All right, you want me to take a look at it?
Yeah, but I'm still working on it.
Well, that's fine. You know, just make sure you've got a final draft ready to go well before the event. The thing is, you're not going to have time to work on your essay the day of.
I know. I'll have it ready.
Okay? Now, something else to keep in mind is to proofread it several times. Okay? Show it to your teachers, let your family see it. You know, spell check isn't going to catch everything. I can guarantee it won't catch everything. So treat this essay as like a paper for English class. All right?
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Lewis.
You're welcome. Rachel, I noticed here on your essay that you used an email address, buzzygirl17.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's not the most professional email to send off to the admissions offices.
Well, Mr. Lewis, I'm not a professional.
And I understand that, but again, this goes back to what we talked about in terms of first impressions.
Well, it's the only email address I have.
And that's okay. You can actually use CFNC.org to create a new email address. You know, just use your first name, last name, or your initials and a couple numbers, something to make it unique. All right?
Okay, thanks.
All right. Well, it's good to see you, ladies. And I want you to get excited about college application week, okay?
Okay.
I'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.
We really want our students to know how important it is to take their applications seriously and that there's a certain type of etiquette that goes into having a successful college application. Be prepared before your event by completing the online planner on CFNC.org and completing your student information checklist in your student handbook. Remember, no texting language, and also be sure to check over for grammar, spelling, and typos. You should also make sure that the information in your application is correct. If required, essays should be well written and thoughtful, and reach out to your teachers, counselors, and family members to help you proofread your essay. The more proofreading, the better. You should also have a professional sounding email. If you don't already have one, go to CFNC.org and you can set one up. For more resources like the Student Handbook for College Application Week, go to CFNC.org/CAW Seniors.